backtracking on the book ban.
We would prefer to see that the ministerial order was scrapped altogether rather than going for a reword.
As the province takes another run at its policy, political watchers weigh in.
It's either ideological or incompetence.
Plus, shocking increases to insurance rates.
Wow, yeah, 9,000. What happened?
Many homeowners are seeing a jump. Is there any recourse?
Yeah, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. That's basically what they're saying.
And if the shoe fits,
you're drawing a picture, you're sculpting a shoe to suit that horse.
The world's best farriers trying to hammer out a win at Spruce Meadows.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. A woman is now charged after last week's active shooter incident in Calgary. And we are learning more about the man who died after shooting at police. Sean Fournette is following the latest developments for us. And Sean, police say this man had a history of violence.
Because of that, Tara, police say they had multiple resources deployed trying to find the man before a shelter-in-place order went out last Thursday, forcing residents in Rosedale and Crescent Heights to scramble to safety. CTV News has learned the man was 31-year-old Elvis Vukai. He was a mixed martial arts fighter in Calgary more than a decade ago. In 2022, we reported he faced firearms charges after police alleged he had a concealed revolver while at a Beltline restaurant. Police also said he had ties to organized crime. Now, last week, police say the man was wanted on a Canada-wide warrant after removing an ankle monitoring bracelet. They say the man fired shots into a Crescent Heights Road home, unsuccessfully trying to break in. Police say the man and a woman who was with him then broke into a nearby residence. The tactical team arrived and the man fired shots at officers. After a standoff where police used tear gas, the man was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to police. Police say the woman who was with him, 32-year-old Monica Gonzalez, is now charged with break and enter. Police say the man and woman had no connections to either residence on Crescent Heights Road. ACERT, the provincial police watchdog, now says this incident is out of its scope, and Calgary police remain in charge of the ongoing criminal investigation. Tara?
Okay, Sean Fournette reporting. Sean, thank you. And also breaking from the province tonight, the government says it has reached a deal with the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees. According to the AUPE, members voted 63% in favor of ratifying the deal. The mediator's recommendation includes a 12% salary increase over 4 years. The AUPE has roughly 22,000 members in sectors including law enforcement, social services, natural resources, and administration. We are learning for the first time which schools in Alberta were flagged for having library books deemed graphic and sexually inappropriate by Alberta's education minister. It prompted a ban on certain books for the school year, but the ban was met with swift criticism, forcing the province to backtrack. Terry Fikowski has more on how Calgary's largest school board is responding.
28 Calgary schools are on a list of those with text deemed sexually inappropriate for students. For the first time, the education minister sharing that list on social media site X, saying he has been asked to prove the books exist in those libraries. He says Albertans deserve transparency.
It's kind of stupid, to be fair, because yes, it does contain sexually explicit stuff, but it's stuff that is around us every single day.
4 novels with what's described as pornographic images were brought to the minister's attention in May.
Our concern is that books with highly sexualized content are being given to children without their parents' consent.
But the Calgary Board of Education says there are policies to keep families in the know and adds no single elementary schools carried any of these books.
Our common goals are developmentally appropriate books available to students to ensure that our students are critical thinkers and reflect diverse perspectives.
The list comes amid a blowback to a ministerial order directing school divisions to remove books containing sexually explicit content. As a result, Edmonton's public school division listed 200 books that had to go, including novels from celebrated authors, prompting criticism from educators and librarians.
There isn't a lot of school library professionals in Alberta to do this work. There's a handful in the Edmonton Public School District, a handful in Calgary, and that's all we've been able to really locate in the whole province.
It also sparked ridicule from those in the literary world and accusations of discrimination due to the LGBTQ plus themes of the 4 targeted books.
It just baffles me. So the only thing I can come up with is that this is an ideological battle on the part of the UCP government. It's used as a distraction from their greater scandals.
The minister is revising the order, but back at school, students say banning books will only encourage kids to find the information elsewhere.
If they're banning books, we can obviously just look on the internet and find these banned books anyway.
And Terry is outside Western Canada High tonight, one of the schools that was on that list. So, Terry, is there a timeline when the new set of rules will come down?
Well, Tara, yesterday the Premier said it would take just hours to rewrite, but we don't know when those new rules will be revealed. In a statement today, the Education Minister said that he is working on the revisions, but has no more specifics to say in terms of the changes that are taking place. Now, the original order wanted all books with explicit content to be removed from schools by the end of September and take effect on October 1st. However, we've heard from principals and librarians and educators that just given the amount of power that would be needed and the short time frame, that's nearly impossible to do. Tara?
Okay, Terry, thank you. The hazy sky is a clear sign of the conditions today. Calgary is under a continued air quality warning from Environment Canada. While we haven't had as much wildfire smoke compared to last year, it's become a regular occurrence that people need to pay attention to for their health and planning purposes. Alicia Fielberg explains.
Walter loves playing catch, but he and Caitlin Smith keep their outings brief when it's this smoky.
I get headaches and my throat gets kind of sore.
Wildfire smoke from Saskatchewan and Northwest Territories prompted another air quality warning in Calgary, so they skipped their usual hour-long run together outside.
When it's this smoky, yes. Like if I always just check the air quality index on my phone, and if it's over like 3-ish, I definitely change plans. I went to a treadmill in the gym, but still get him exercise.
Medical experts say it's smart to avoid strenuous activity outside and stay inside as much as possible, even for the young and healthy.
The particles that are in wildfire smoke are small enough that they can go from the lungs into the bloodstream and be throughout your body.
The increasingly common smoky conditions are especially challenging for people with health issues, including the roughly 4.7 million Canadians diagnosed with asthma.
Can be lying in wait, and when you're exposed to something like wildfire smoke and the pollutants that are involved with it, it can bring on a very sudden attack or exacerbation. And unfortunately, there are several hundred people every year that lose their lives to asthma directly.
Well, the Air Quality Index gives an idea of the risk in the general area. The team behind the Spruce Meadows Masters takes its own readings with handheld devices every half hour to determine the amount of particulate in the air on site.
And the threshold whether or not we deem it would be safe to compete is around 200. And right now, as I look at this, we're just shy of 81. So right now, the air quality here at Spruce Meadows is certainly safe to compete.
And Alicia joins us from Southwest Calgary tonight. Alicia, it does still look smoky still behind you.
It does, Sarah. There's still a beige haze hanging over Calgary right now, but the air quality has been improving throughout the day. So Calgary Sport and Social Club says that it is not canceling any of its outdoor games tonight, along with the Masters at Spruce Meadow Grounds, Football Club, Cavalry. They practice today outside as well. There is an outdoor free concert from Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra that is going ahead as scheduled tonight. And as for school activities, Calgary Board of Education says that it has to be an AQHI of 7 or higher before it suggests that its schools either consider canceling or postponing its outdoor activities. Tara?
Okay, Alicia, thank you. There is a small wildfire burning in Banff National Park tonight. A backcountry user reported it Tuesday afternoon near Wigmore Valley. That area is now closed. Officials say while the fire is out of control, the containment efforts are working, and there's currently no risk to public safety. The fire is about 4.5 hectares, 4.5 hectares in size. And Danielle joins us now. So certainly the air quality health index, it's lower than it was this time last night, but it's still moderate.
It's still moderate. So if you don't have those underlying health conditions, you can head outside and you can enjoy it. You do see it hovering over, though. And just to check out numbers, 4 is where we're at in Calgary. If you look at the scale up top, that's on the moderate level of the Air Quality Health Index. Lethbridge is at a 5, also moderate. Medicine Hat. So a lot of moderate at this point. But what I want to show you is for tomorrow morning, we're going to get a strong wind out of the north, which is going to push in some more air that's very smoky. So likely will be quite smoky tomorrow morning and get to that higher level of the Air Quality Health Index. And that's going to take some time to work its way out. But by late tomorrow, we should be back down to moderate. And that's how we'll head into Friday and likely parts of the weekend as well. Tara?
Thanks, Danielle. A senior in Chestermere is dealing with a 70% jump in his home insurance premiums. He says his last claim was over a decade ago, and the best advice he received was to shop around. Insurance experts say rates are rising across the board because last year was the costliest for damage caused by extreme weather. Here's Stephanie Thomas.
Alvin Phillips called his stepdaughter over after opening mail from TD Insurance. They were both stunned. The quote to renew coverage for the home was $9,000.
It was a little bit of a shock that it would go up that much.
Wow, yeah, $9,000. What happened?
That's a 70% increase from last year's annual rate at $5,300. Customer service told them there was no mistake.
I haven't been a burden on them. I've had one claim for roof damage, and that was it.
In 20 years of coverage, his most recent claim was back in 2013. But claims across the province and the country are likely behind this rate hike. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says last summer alone, companies paid out a record $8.5 billion for insurable damage due to climate disasters. Alberta makes up half of that, with the Jasper wildfire and last August's hailstorm that hammered the Northeast.
All of that is putting pressure on insurance premiums as we see the cost of these events continue to go up and up and up.
He adds the claims of the few affect the premiums of the many. Climate experts say extreme events are becoming common.
Climate change, global heating is supercharging our weather systems. More heat, more water mean more fuel for storms.
Some brokers advise shopping around.
At the end of the day, this is about coverage and making sure that when the sudden and unexpected happens, you have a package that's going to respond and make sure that you're not in financial dire straits.
That was the advice given to Alvin Phillips.
Yeah, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. That's basically what they're saying.
This much and this much effect all at one time for one household is a lot.
And Stephanie joins us now from a hail-affected region in the Northeast. So, Stephanie, what can residents do?
Tara, there's no simple or short-term solution. Experts I spoke with tell us that a broker can scan multiple companies and find the best rate, but that the best tool to lower the bill is to make home improvements that will help stand up to damage. So whether that's replacing your roof or replacing your siding with more resilient materials, replacing water or sewer lines, or maybe installing more home security systems to protect against theft, that may be all taken into account by an insurance provider, and then your rate may be adjusted from there. But Tara, either way, it looks like that it's up to the customer to pay.
Difficult. Okay, Stephanie, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Show jumping isn't the only competition at Spruce Meadows this week. The world's best farriers are hammering it out to be named the world champion blacksmith. Reporter Kevin Green was there this morning as they fired up the forges and started swinging the hammers.
65 competitors from around the world are testing their skill, speed, and endurance at the World Championship Blacksmiths competition. Events range from trimming and shoeing to forge welding, all pitted against the clock.
This is something that takes a lifetime to learn. We're caregivers of the equine.
They're part horse podiatrist, part iron worker, and all muscle. But in this competition, it takes more than strength to come out on top.
It's the mental part, and there's a lot of, a lot of small guys who are world champions or whatever, and they're just fit, and they swing the hammer quickly, efficiently, accurately.
Precision is judged as closely as speed.
You're drawing a picture, you're sculpting a shoe to suit that horse. And that's where the artistry comes into that.
Each horseshoe is handcrafted, shaped and fitted to match the horse perfectly. And spectators get to experience a craft that dates back centuries.
It's done as it was 200, 300 years ago. Nothing's changed.
For Canadian Judge Ian Ritchie, watching farriers forge horseshoes is a buffet for the senses.
They'll manipulate it, they'll section it, they'll bend it, they'll put the holes in it. Come see, come smell it, come listen to it.
The competition runs all week with a $75,000 purse up for grabs on Sunday. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Still to come, Pierre Poilievre wants the temporary foreign workers program scrapped. The PM says it's not quite that easy, and some labor groups say it would be a disaster. We'll explain. And RCMP arrests 16 people, including the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada in Saskatchewan. Why it took 2 years to move in on this fringe conspiracy group. A major announcement of job losses today in the oil and gas industry. Houston-based ConocoPhillips says it's cutting 25% of its workforce. The company employs 13,000 people worldwide and has its Canadian headquarters here in Calgary. ConocoPhillips has operations in Alberta's oil sands and in BC, but there's no word yet on how the workers there will be affected. The company is holding an employee town hall meeting tomorrow morning. Today, Pierre Poilievre called on the federal government to end the temporary foreign worker program, proposing that permits would be wound down until the program ceases to exist. The Conservative leader says those largely low-paying jobs can be filled by Canadians. But as CTV's Rachel Aiello reports, it may not be quite that simple.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre wants to abolish Canada's temporary foreign worker program
and to stop issuing visas for any new temporary foreign workers coming into the country.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said today Cabinet is discussing how the program is working, but asserted it'll continue to play a part in Canada's immigration system.
When I talk to businesses around the country, particularly in Quebec, but elsewhere across the country, their number one issue is tariffs, and their number two issue is access to temporary foreign workers.
Poilievre's plan includes a carve-out for agricultural labor and an up to 5-year transition period for regions with ultra-low unemployment.
The turnover is insanely high. It's really hard to fill those labor needs domestically.
This 8th-generation farmer said the suggestion has tilled up a lot of concern in his community.
I don't know how you do away with a temporary foreign worker program in totality without potentially harming the agriculture streams.
Migrants' rights advocates say what Poilievre is proposing wouldn't come close to solving this country's employment challenges and accused him of leveraging division over immigration to get back in the national conversation.
Temporary foreign workers are in agriculture, they're chefs, they're in fishery workers. These are not summer youth jobs, right? So linking the two is as bizarre as sort of linking, the wages in Ontario with the weather in Saskatchewan.
The Federal Immigration Department said today that fewer new temporary workers entered Canada in the first half of this year compared to 2024, and continued reductions are planned. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A first-of-its-kind facility is open in Innisfail, hoping to address global climate change. Deep Sky Alpha opened in late August. The facility takes CO2 particles from the air and then turns them into a liquid, which is then stored underground for a minimum of 1,000 years. The company's CEO says this will help to avoid extreme weather and address growing concerns about climate change.
The reason why the first facility of such a kind in Canada is in Alberta is due to the fact that we are blessed here in Alberta with amazing geology to actually be able to store the CO2 underground. This is not something that you can do anywhere you would like. It does require a very specific geology to be able to do that.
Deep Sky is working to add more facilities across Canada in the coming years. WestJet has announced its largest ever purchase of aircraft. The Calgary-based airline is buying 67 planes from Boeing. 60 will be the 737-10 MAX narrow-body planes, and 7 will be the wide-body Dreamliner planes. Right now, WestJet has more than 190 aircraft, but this purchase will enable the airline to grow until 2034. The Dreamliner is typically used for international routes carrying more than 300 passengers.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast.
Yep, and it's looking pretty good. a little less smoky in the coming days, except for tomorrow morning, which may be another burst of the worst again. Okay, 22 degrees is the temperature in Calgary, in Lethbridge and Brooks, 24 in Medicine Hat and Milk River, and quite a bit of heat in Pincher Creek at 27 and Cranbrook at 35. We have a good amount of smoke. At this point, we're on that moderate level of the scale, but will likely boost back up before things really start to improve here. And this is why there is still the air quality warning in place. And this is Brooks, Lethbridge, Pincher Creek, all the way up through Calgary and up to Edmonton as well. On the BC side, there are air quality statements in the lighter gray here, but this is where we have the warning in place. What we're looking at for tomorrow is a big push of wind from the north, so that will knock these numbers up likely. So at this point, we're 4 in Calgary. That's on the moderate part of the scale on that air quality health index. So that's decent air anyway. 7, though, is what we just bumped up to in Lethbridge, which is now at the higher risk part of the scale. And we're going to go back and forth here, and we'll certainly go up for tomorrow. Check out this swath that's expected for tomorrow morning, specifically concentrated in the areas that are under the warning: Calgary, down through Lethbridge, Brooks, Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass areas. And then it will take some time for it to work its way out. But because of those strong gusty winds we're going to get out of the north, specifically tomorrow morning, it's going to push a lot more smoke back in. And then this is a look at Friday. So Friday, you can see better air quality is certainly likely, and will either be at the lower end of the moderate part of the air quality health index. We might even get to low on Friday. Now, late Sunday, we might boost back up again, but it's a little bit of a ways away to be forecasting smoke that far out. Okay, so for the next 24 hours, you're looking at cooler tomorrow, absolutely. Now, air quality health index ranging between a 5 and a 7 for the next little bit. And then for tomorrow, likely we'll get up to a 9 because it will be so smoky again, and it will start to work its way out, and we'll get down to maybe moderate by tomorrow night. Once again, you're only looking at a high of 18 for tomorrow because of those cooler winds out of the north, and because we're looking at that smoke covering up the sun. Here's a look at the ridge that will start to build in, and that will help shift our wind direction. So we will no longer have that wind out of the north that will be pushing this all in. Radar and satellite, not a whole lot to talk about other than the ridge starting to set itself up. Tomorrow, just a high of 18, but we'll get back into those 20s for Friday. Lower 20s for Friday, mid 20s for Saturday. And by that point, you're looking at an air quality health index around that moderate level. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. RCMP have arrested the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada in a community in southwest Saskatchewan. This video was live streamed from the Telegram account of the fringe conspiracy group's leader, Romana Didulo, this morning, as she and 16 other people were arrested. The group, which calls itself the Kingdom of Canada, has been living in a former school in the village of Richmond, just east of the Alberta border, since September of 2023. RCMP say they executed a search warrant after reports of someone with a firearm.
We have located and seized 4 replica handguns, 1 inside the building and 3 inside vehicles. While clearing the property, officers observed modifications that had been made to the existing structure.
The village's mayor has recently alleged the group had been dumping raw sewage off of the school grounds after the community cut off sewer access. No charges have been laid at this time. Health Canada is warning about a shortage of a heart medication. We'll tell you which one it is, what is causing that disruption, and what to do in the meantime. And it certainly gets you going in the morning, but it's no longer cheap. Why does that cup of joe cost so much these days? There's a national shortage of a medication that can help prevent heart failures. It's impacting a Calgary man who wants to warn others about the situation now. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
Fred Fisher has been off one of his heart medications, spironolactone, for over a week.
I was diagnosed a year better ago with an enlarged heart, which means it doesn't pump as efficiently.
A national shortage of the drug has put him in a tough spot.
Went to refill it again and found out they were having trouble even getting it. And that was when a pharmacist advised me that there was a shortage, and if he had to outsource from their normal supplier to get it from somewhere else, the price was going to be steep again. At that point, my doctor told me, he says, you can go off of that particular one.
Spironolactone is supplied by 4 companies. 2 are reporting shortages because of manufacturing disruptions, and a third has a shortage due to increased demand. As a result, the drug may not always be available, according to Health Canada.
And it's been used in patients with heart disease and specifically heart failure when people have been diagnosed with heart failure, both heart failure where there's a pump problem or other types of heart failure. When it's used to help manage the condition and specifically used to help reduce the risk for dying or being hospitalized. That's its main role.
Experts warn against buying unlicensed or unverified products. Instead, people should talk to their doctor about alternatives.
There are several medications that are very similar, not identical, that really can be used in as a replacement or even short-term or even longer-term replacement to be considered.
Ottawa says the shortage should resolve by the end of the month. Welcome news to Fred Fisher, who's patiently waiting for when he can access his preferred medication once again. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
For a full list of drugs that are experiencing supply issues in Canada, you can visit drugshortagescanada.ca. This year's Calgary Health Foundation Hospital Home Lottery Grand Prize offers many of the comforts of home just outside the city limits. The $3.3 million show home by Crystal Creek Homes is 5,200 square feet. It includes 4 beds and 6 baths. It also has a landscape backyard and a basement games area. The winner will also take home $100,000. The foundation is raising money this year to build a women's cardiovascular health unit.
54% of heart attacks in women go unrecognized. So heart attacks show up differently in women. And it's really important that we up our level on clinical care. This would be a state-of-the-art women's cardiovascular health care clinic that's really going to put Calgary at the forefront of clinical care.
Other prizes include a Range Rover, a Mercedes, a trip to Malta, and $1 million Canmore condo. You can get tickets at calgaryhospitalhomelottery.com. Still to come, a local teen is back from a very moving visit to Europe. How it led to a better understanding of Canada's war effort and sacrifice. That's next. Calgary teen is back from an all-expenses-paid 10-day trip to Europe, visiting historic sites where Canadian soldiers fought in the First and Second World Wars. She won her spot with 13 others through the Beaverbrook Vimy Prize. The goal of the program is to educate this generation about Canada's roles in the World Wars. Kevin Fleming has more.
Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw.
It's a war poem that Louise Ogbenar grew up with at Remembrance Day ceremonies in Calgary. She says it was a powerful moment standing in a cemetery in France, surrounded by fallen Canadian soldiers.
And I saw his grave as well, and I was able to sing that poem as well in front of John McCrae's grave. And to us, being the next generation up on the world stage, right?
Ogbenar is a grade 12 student at Bishop O'Byrne High School and spent 10 days in France and Belgium in August visiting museums, memorials, battlefields, and cemeteries.
It was a bit tough looking at thousands of graves and thousands of names, and I connected with history so deeply. It was really touching to see history right in front of my eyes, to be in the same places where soldiers were over 100 years ago.
The Beaverbrook Vimy Prize is awarded to students 15 to 17 years old, where they spend 10 days seeing where Canadian soldiers fought in the World Wars.
And just remember how much freedom really means. Freedom is never free, and just how much the First and Second World War is important to our history, both as a nation and as an individual as well.
Mary Lou Ogbenar grew up in the Philippines and still has family there. She lost her grandfather in the Second World War.
We have a project with Louise now that, okay, back home, we will do something for her great-grandfather and other veterans in our village, in our hamlet, who, sometimes they are forgotten.
Louise says it was difficult seeing how young the Canadian soldiers were who were buried in France and Belgium, and hopes to share what she learned in Europe with others in her class. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Boy, what a moving trip that would have been. Wow. Well, growing up takes time, as we know, but here's a pair that makes it go in the blink of an eye.
Slow down, little heart.
Okay, this is so cute. This boy's aunt took a photo with him every year on the first day of school, recreating the same pose. He gets bigger and bigger eventually.
Oh,
he had to hold her. She gets stronger and stronger, but I mean,
crying with this one guy.
So cute.
And it is true, they do grow up way too fast.
So fast, blink of an eye, and suddenly he's in grade 12.
I'm going to start doing those now.
Yeah, that's a cute idea. Well, we're at the end of the outdoor pool season, but these pups are still enjoying the dog days of summer. That's how you do it. This is an outdoor pool in St. Albert. They filled it with pups for their annual Dogs Only swimming event. Calgary has done this in years past, too. All the proceeds go toward an animal shelter. And this also marked the last day for swimming in the public pool, which is all the more reason to let it go to the dogs.
Because I wouldn't get into that pool after them dogs.
Well, there's probably a lot of time spent getting the hair out of the filter, for sure.
But best day ever.
Yes. They look like they're having fun. A thrilling new world record has been set in the mountains of Switzerland. This is a pretty daring flight. Austrian athlete Peter Salzman broke the world speed record for a base jump in a wingsuit. He leapt from over 3,700 meters above sea level, and he reached a top speed of 347 kilometers per hour. Holy cow.
Nothing can go wrong there.
Oh. They put a tracker into his suit to measure the data, and then he had a specially designed helmet, too, that would help him cut through the air and reach those record-breaking speeds.
I mean, it would be so cool, but so frightening.
Yes. Those Red Bull athletes, they have ice in their veins.
Whole level.
A Canadian convenience store chain posted lower earnings today. Still, Couche-Tard stock ended higher. Our business report is next.
All right. Okay. Yep. There is certainly a lot of smoke hovering over us. We are at the moderate level, though, on that air quality health index. So things have improved. It's going to get a little worse again before it gets better, and specifically for tomorrow morning. So we'll talk more about that in just a second. Just a quick look at temperatures here. 22 in Lethbridge and Calgary and Brooks. Warmer in Drumheller at 29 and 27 in Pincher Creek. Okay, there's a look at where we have the warnings. No longer the warnings today in the Medicine Hat area because things have improved, as we talked about. But we are looking at still getting another swath of smoke, especially here, because we're looking at these winds driving in at 40 kilometers per hour out of the north tomorrow. That's a cooler wind, so temperatures will be cooler tomorrow, also pushing in some more smoke, and the mountains helping just keep it in like a bowl. Just pooling in here. All right, so not a whole lot going on the satellite and radar imagery. There is a small chance of getting some isolated showers. Lethbridge over to Pincher Creek tomorrow morning. Outside of that, quiet aside from the smoke. So we'll likely be around that moderate level for the evening and overnight hours, but tomorrow morning will pop up to about a 9. So that's on that high risk part of the scale again. And then it will take some time for that to work its way out. The winds will start to shift tomorrow afternoon. So cold tomorrow afternoon, just a high of 18 in comparison to where we should be for this time of year. But we are looking at things starting to work its way out. So Friday will be a lot nicer. All right, 37 for Kamloops tomorrow, 34 for Kelowna. Air quality statements in place for many parts of southern BC. 19 for Edmonton and Red Deer, 18 for Calgary, 21 for Drumheller, and further to the south, you're looking at 19 for Lethbridge tomorrow and 20 for Medicine Hat. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. New details tonight on last week's active shooter situation in Rosedale. Police say the man and a woman who was with him broke into a home, and the man fired several shots. After a long standoff, the man was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The woman is now charged with break and enter. Alberta's education minister is now sharing a list of schools with library books that were flagged as inappropriate for students. It comes as the minister faces backlash over his order to remove books containing any sexually explicit content. And late today, the Alberta government says it has reached a deal with the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees. A mediator's recommendation includes a 12% salary increase over 4 years. If you're a coffee drinker, you've probably noticed the cost of your morning cup continuing to climb. Prices have increased steadily over the last 2 years, and U.S. tariffs have added even more uncertainty. Calgary roasters and importers say they are certainly feeling the grind. Jordan Canagan has more.
In November,
we hit $3.
Carlos Gutierrez reads through his handwritten notes of the daily cost for a pound of raw coffee. The longtime Calgary bean broker and distributor has seen the price climb steadily for years.
Brazil sneezes and the whole world gets a cold in coffee. And Brazil started feeling terrible.
Drought and frost in the world's largest producer of coffee have impacted prices globally.
We're still in a shortage of coffee, recovering from the frost and the drought. We now have a scenario where the U.S. is tariffing both Vietnam, Brazil, and now India, who's also a very large producer. What this is causing in the market is general uncertainty.
According to Statistics Canada, the average consumer price of coffee in Alberta has gone from $6.62 for 340 grams last June to $8.77 this year.
It has to be passed along. When we get hit with price increases of 50 to 100% in a matter of 6 months, this isn't something we can absorb. And it happens so quickly.
Damaged crops can take up to 2 years to recover, and this year's harvest is again expected to be lower than average.
That means that at the end of the day, if the price stays high, we're going to buy very high. And the problem is not going to be solved immediately.
It means Calgary coffee drinkers are choosing between cheaper alternatives or paying more for quality.
Well, it's almost doubled for the premium varieties like Kicking Horses or something like that. So I'm using the big chain brands kind of thing, like Superstore or Walmart.
So yeah, it has gone up, but I don't mind if it's good coffee.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, despite price increases in the last 2 years, the Coffee Association of Canada says consumption remains high in this country. It's estimated about 3/4 of adult Canadians drink coffee every single day. A major Canadian player in convenience stores reported earnings. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
Alimentation Couche-Tard reported earnings with revenue down year over year. The company's based in Quebec but owns convenience stores around the world. It brought in more than $17 billion in its latest quarter. That's a 5% drop from last year. Still, investors weren't phased, pushing the stock up nearly 8% at one point today. Here's a look at how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is down slightly to $72.48. West Texas Intermediate dropped $1.67 to $63.92. Western Canadian Select is up more than $2 to $53.23. And the TSX is up again, gaining 135 points to another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
A young Calgary soccer player is making a difference on and off the pitch. And when he's not practicing, he's helping to raise money for cancer research. Glenn has his story for us next. A young soccer player from Calgary is hoping to win this year's Colossal Youth Athlete of the Year. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, this honor, it's not just about soccer.
Tara, it's also about being a good person and helping your community. And Oliver Newman is doing just that. And the thought of contributing to victory over cancer is something that truly drives him. Oliver Newman started playing soccer when he was just 3 years old, and it's been a tough time getting him off the pitch ever since. The 8, soon-to-be 9-year-old, has some big aspirations.
I want to keep playing until I'm really old, and I want to go pro for a big club. I want to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Oliver's a forward. His favorite thing to do is score goals. He knows it's going to take a lot of hard work to realize his dream.
To practice every day, discipline and dedication, and don't eat junk food.
Another thing Oliver's dedicated to is helping people. That's why he entered the Colossal Youth Athlete of the Year competition. It's a nationwide campaign raising funds and awareness for the Why Not Foundation and the V Foundation. Oliver's been raising money for cancer research.
I'm very proud of him, and not only because of soccer, because he's also raising money for cancer. And we've been trying to help save people. Cancer has decimated a lot of people, not only in my family, but a lot of strength. So that's why we're doing this.
Right now, Oliver's second in his group. If he wins, he advances to the quarterfinals. The eventual winner will be featured in a 3-brand ad in Sports Illustrated and will take home $25,000.
It would mean a lot of stuff because I would use it to help play for my soccer, help my family, and erase cancer.
If you'd like to vote for Oliver, you can go to our website, ctvnews.ca/Calgary. We have a link to the website for the Athlete of the Year competition. Voting for this round wraps up tomorrow. Tonight on Golf Tips, Scott gives us a tip on the driver.
Mackenzie Meadows Golf Tips with PGA Pro Scott Orban.
Par 4 16th at Mackenzie Meadows, and Scott, you have the driver out. What are you going to tell us about that club?
Well, we got to, to get the most out of this, you got to center the hit.
Yeah.
All right. So you can buy some little impact tape online, put it on there, spray it with a little bit of athlete foot powder. You might be able to see where your ball mark is. And then you need to test things. I love watching Brooke Henderson. She grips down on the club quite a bit. You'll see that butt end out on her, and she smokes it. Golf drivers have gotten longer, but another fellow that hits it pretty good, Bryson DeChambeau, he actually has a shorter driver. When golfers are always thinking they need it longer to hit it further. That's not always the case. So take your driver and experiment a little bit. And while you're experimenting, another thing we can do to try, so you're going to do that and find out where that impact is. But if you're going to hit a ball lower, which we need to do in Calgary and southern Alberta often, is you want to tee it a little lower. So the ball's just below the top line or just a tiny bit above. And then you can choke down. And as you get a little more familiar with that, I want you to just make the same swing. Golfers are trying too hard to hit it low, and they usually smother it, put a hook on it. But just try to keep the same swing. Don't change the swing. Just change the ball position and change that grip position.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one, Glenn. That was a good one.
Nicely done. Let's go get birdie, man.
Go get that athlete foot powder and get at it.
Do it. That's what it takes. Next week on Golf Tips, we'll go inside the bunker.
Scott's thinking of all the things no one else is thinking of.
Right? There you go.
That's great. Well, there's still some nice days for hitting the golf course.
Yes, absolutely. And not tomorrow morning is kind of going to be the worst of it, I would think. We're not fully done with the smoky weather just yet. So tomorrow specifically, it looks like a big wave will roll in. It may take some time for it to work its way out, but it should be out later in the day tomorrow for the most part, getting us to moderate. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Weather Window is brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors. Crafting quality windows and doors for your style. Budget Alberta's climate. Mary Waite sent this one in near Millerville. This was the sunset yesterday. And while nobody likes the smoke, it can take some amazing pictures. So Mary did a great job. This is pretty incredible, hey?
The pink is beautiful. We've had a lot of oranges and peaches today, trying to see through the smoke.
Yeah.
Looks nice. It's just not great to breathe.
It's smelly.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.